Great day, good people. Thank you for coming to the site. Thank you for checking me out on Facebook and Instagram. Today, we're working with the conversion code, okay? So instead of me talking about the book, my job is to show you what I'm doing with the knowledge inside the book. So right next to me, there's a picture of the book, and right after that picture will come a sample of the first part of the first chapter. Because what I did was I broke the first chapter down to 4 parts, and you listen to the first part. But I highly recommend you click the link up on this video, either on Facebook or my blog site or Instagram, wherever you've seen this video, and go over to Amazon and get your own copy. I recommend you get the audio version and the hard copy so you can listen to it as you go through it, as you pull out the information and put it in play. Very powerful, good people. Have a great awesome day. This is Mr. James. You can do this. The conversion code is for a person who want to come online and talk to the right people. But first, you get your house in order. Get your websites and everything situated properly. Have a great day, and I'll see you on the inside.
Part 1. Capture Internet Leads. Chapter 1. Need more leads? How to build websites and landing pages that consistently capture Internet leads. If you are reading this book, there is a good chance that you have heard, possibly even a nauseating number of times, that if you want to win online, content is king. Content is not king if your goal is capturing and converting leads. Design, being purposeful, and landing pages are king. When building your website or landing pages, or changing and improving the ones you may already have, a conversion-first approach to design and user experience is a must. Simply put, great design builds trust, and trust is and always has been why people buy things, online and off. As Zig Ziglar once said, if people like you, they'll listen to you, but if they trust you, they'll do business with you. In this chapter, I will cover the best ways to capture quality internet leads using a website and landing pages. In the real world, before you invite anyone over for dinner, you clean your house. Online is no different. Before we can send traffic to our website, we need to make sure it will convert. Sadly, I see far too many companies that have a website so poorly designed that they are even willing to admit they wouldn't hire themselves based on it. Because almost every business already has a website, I will start with that. But not before I mention that a critical component of cracking the conversion code is to understand that for online lead generation and conversion, landing pages are a much better option than websites. Ideally, a company will be using both. But if you are reading this or listening to this and you really need leads as quickly as possible, landing pages are the better choice. How to build a website that builds trust and captures leads. Recent research, which I discovered thanks to Social Triggers founder Derek Halpern, who was a guest on our podcast, conducted by Elizabeth Silence, Pam Briggs, and Leslie Fishwick, entitled Trust and Mistrust of Online Health Sites, proves that design online equals trust in sales. Here is an excerpt from their study and what they learned. Do different design and information content factors influence trust and mistrust of online health sites? 15 women faced with a risky health decision were observed while searching the internet for information and advice over 4 consecutive weeks. Women at various stages of menopause participated in the study. 41 to 60 plus years old, the median age was 49. All the women were interested in finding out more about the menopause and all used the internet at least once a week, although they had different degrees of confidence with respect to being online. Participants discussed their first impressions of a website. There were 2 factors that led them to reject or mistrust a website quickly. The overwhelming majority of comments related to the design of the website. 94% cited design and only 6% cited content in relation to, quote, the number of times a factor was mentioned as a percentage of the total number of comments about rejection, end quote. So maybe content isn't king after all. Here were some of the women's first impressions and remarks about website design or lack thereof. 1. I found the screen too busy. I couldn't quite latch on to anything straight away. That was from a female, 66 years old. Number 2. It's so clinical, so pasty. Lots of whites, lots of pale blue, obviously trying to be gentle on the eye. Female, 48 years old. Number 3. The banners, when they are trying to sell you something or click down here for your free whatever, you just get turned off. Female, 49 years old. Number 4. One of them I didn't like the color of. I couldn't wait to get out. It was an insipid green backdrop. It just put me off reading it. Female, 53 years old. Number 5. There was just nothing I liked about it at all. I didn't like the colors, the text, the layout. Female, 52 years old. This honest, harsh feedback from the participants reminded me of the famous David Ogilvy quote, "The consumer isn't a moron. She is your wife." If you are going to capture and convert quality internet leads, you need to gain their trust. Start with their list of critiques and look at your current website to see what you are guilty of. The principles of good web design hold true across demographics. Code Academy, an online interactive program that offers free coding classes and likely represents a totally different demographic than the aforementioned study, offered eerily similar advice to the women in the health site study. In September 2015, even the U.S. government crafted design standards for all of its sites moving forward. If middle-aged women, coders, and politicians all agree about the importance of good web design, doesn't it seem foolish to ignore them and not make some changes to your site? Here's a combination of design principles that showed up on the list from the aforementioned baby boomers, brainiacs, and bureaucrats. I have also added my interpretation as to why these principles matter so much. 1 column. Having a one-column layout allows for a one-page, one-purpose approach. 2- and 3-column website designs can feel cluttered, complex, and busy. Plus, it's much easier to make a one-column layout responsive for mobile devices, which is where more than 50% of your traffic and leads will come from. If you're going to use a platform like WordPress or Squarespace to build your website, be sure to look for one-column themes. Social proof. They are great is the new we are great. When you display the feedback of your happiest customers and not just your own marketing messages, you will find that the quantity and quality of your leads from your website will increase. Using actual reviews from Yelp, Google, or Facebook and recommendations from LinkedIn is ideal. Remember, your leads can instantly identify and already trust those logos much more so than yours. It amazes me how many business owners have great reviews online, but they don't actually showcase those reviews on their own website in a beautiful way. In fact, 88% of consumers say they trust online reviews as much as personal recommendations. More contrast. The fewer colors you use, the more the colors you do use will pop. White space is highly underrated. A well-designed website should get people to the parts of it that make you money fast. Increase your contrast by taking a less is more approach. Use colors only when critical, like in your calls to action. This will get the people visiting your site, clicking on the pages, buttons, and links you want them to the most. Fewer form fields. We have only 8 seconds to capture someone's attention online, so you cannot ask for a ton of information on your website contact forms. Stick to the basics of name, phone number, and email when possible. You can also use a log in with Facebook or Google button above or below the form fields so they complete the form without any keystrokes at all. Just on a side note, at Curator, we just added Connect to Facebook on all of our landing pages, and it really increased the conversion rate tremendously. So Connect with Facebook, Connect with Google is almost always a more popular choice than fill out a form. I have also found it to be very helpful to have a backup option like, or you can call/text 555-5555 or email hello@curator.com anytime you have a contact form. The bottom line is that if someone is willing to fill out a form on your website to be contacted, they might also prefer to simply contact you right then. If it takes someone more than a moment or two to locate your phone number and your email address on your website, fix that ASAP. Keeping focus. More choices equal fewer decisions made. You really want to limit the number of calls to action on any given page to one when you can. If one page of your website asks me to join your newsletter, follow you on Twitter, and download your ebook, I probably won't do any of them. Remember, one page equals one purpose. The only page of your site that will likely need multiple CTAs, calls to action, is your home page. For all other pages, keep them laser focused on one primary goal. Larger targets. This one is particularly important to lead capture. Codecademy cited Fitts' Law, which says the time required to move and interact with a target area is a function of the distance and size of the target. The closer and larger the target, the faster the action. To state it simply, the size of and distance between the form fields on your website forms and landing pages matter. Make sure your forms are not too small and also not too spaced out. Design for edge cases. Many of your website's visitors will be coming back to visit for a second, third, or even 100th time. But some of your website visitors will be visiting for the first time, especially after I help you crack the Facebook ads code and start sending new leads there each and every day. It is also safe to say that many online consumers do not want to call a company they find on the internet. But for the edge cases who do, shouldn't your phone number be easy to find? The bottom line is that even the best built websites in the world do not capture every visitor who stops by. Just make sure it captures every serious buyer who visits. And make sure the visitors who are the quote-unquote edge case.
So there you have it, good people. Go over to Amazon, get your own copy, join the community, and get busy. Talk to you soon. Thank you for listening. Have a great, awesome day.